Just before we dive back into the episode, I wanted to quickly share something that might interest you, especially if today's conversation has got you thinking about your own sustainability work. Some of the things we hear most in this industry are, I wish I could connect with other people doing this work, or I'd love to turn my sustainability expertise into something more. Well, 51 to Carbon Zero, the sponsor of this podcast, have created their own referral network. And it does exactly that. This isn't about selling you something, it's actually about helping you make money while building the sustainability community we all need. So here's what's in it for you. First, you get to join a genuine community of sustainability experts who share knowledge, refer work to each other, and solve problems together. So, no more working in isolation. Secondly, there's real money involved. There's 10% plus commission on software referrals. We're talking about projects that go from 30 grand up to 100 grand. Plus, you'll be able to boost your presence by taking part in our fireside chats. I've actually got an email in front of me from Louise Stevens, one of the ambassadors, and it says that all her clients are genuinely happy because she's got a great partner and her clients love them. But here's the bigger picture. You'll be helping accelerate the sustainability transition that we all desperately need. Every referral, every connection, every collaboration moves us closer to the world we're all working towards. If this resonates with you and you want to earn some extra income, click the link in our show notes to become a 51 to Carbon Zero ambassador. Okay, back to the show. Welcome to the Sustainable Business Podcast, where we feature business leaders and innovators transforming their operations to be more environmentally and socially sustainable. I'm your host, Will Richardson, and today I'm joined by Rachel Boland, Head of Sustainability at Engine UK. Engine has been a client of Green Element since 2008. They began their sustainability journey much earlier than most businesses. Hi Rachel, thanks for joining me.
Hi Will, lovely to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me onto the podcast.
I'm excited. To start off with, can you tell us a bit about Engine and what you do, please?
So I am Head of Sustainability for Engine UK. And in my role, I am responsible for moving our overarching strategy, which spans our in-house operational carbon emission reduction work, and which also looks at our client work processes and what we're doing in that area, and also in the context of our influence both with our clients and with the industry.
Brilliant. And in terms of your journey at Engine, you started as operations manager. So how did you get to be head of sustainability, and why was that important to you? So
I was operations manager for a number of years, and in that capacity, I was responsible for the experience, the employee and the client experience with Engine, within the building, working at Engine. And as part of that role, I was also responsible and involved in a number of projects and initiatives that were rolled out over the years in an effort to obviously improve the business and how we behaved, and to make it as positive an experience as possible for people coming into the building. And I looked after a number of key supplier relationships, and partners, one of which was with yourself, Green Element, from an early stage. And we had an opportunity to develop that over the years through the work we started to do on our environmental management system from an early stage. So my involvement with Green Element and with that work in that space gained momentum as the years went on and as the needs of the business in this space grew over time. Not only from the clients who were looking for us to improve what we were doing in this space, but also internally. There was an internal desire to move things forward.
Okay. And so Engine has prioritised sustainability, and we can see that through your environmental management system. Can you explain what that is and what motivated you to implement environmental best practice?
So from an early stage, as far back as 2008, 2009, we started to look more closely at our carbon footprint. And a lot of this was driven by tenders and RFIs that were coming in from clients looking to understand the contributions we were making, what we were doing internally, how we were playing our part in helping to measure our carbon footprint and play our part in the environmental space. But what happened around that time, there was marketing and new business manager, Alenka Lawrenson, I'm sure you remember her. She was instrumental in putting in place our internal initiative, which was called Our Little Bit. And that initiative was lovely. It helped put a kind of a narrative around what we were doing. So not only were we focusing on the community and the people, but we were also focusing on the environment. So they were our three pillars, and they really kind of helped us move forward and start to build momentum. So, the clients looking for us to share what we were doing internally as a business, which, obviously increasingly over the years has aligned more and more with how they're behaving as a business. So too did the kind of internal desire within Engine to be better, to better ourselves, and to do what we could. And all of this really helped inform the strategies that we ended up putting in place over the years, which have gathered some really positive momentum.
Yeah, you guys have always been really, really good at minimizing your environmental impact. I remember quite early on having a meeting with your architects that had kind of designed the space for you guys. And I was really confused because CIBSE, the Chartered Institute for Building Survey Engineers, have this thing that they think that so much energy per meter squared, and you were really bad, in inverted commas. And I couldn't work it out. And what we realized was you weren't really bad. In actual fact, you were incredibly efficient of your space. So you had loads of people in a smaller space than most people would have. Therefore, you had more energy per meter squared. So actually, normalizing your data through full-time equivalent was a much more pertinent strategy. And it just showed very early on how good you guys were from an environmental perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, together with the strategies and the measures we put in place, whether that was key messaging that we put up around the business to help with the behavioral kind of nudging of individuals in the business or visitors coming into the building, of course. Zip taps, which we put in place, removing under-desk bins and the single-use plastic, investing in our energy management system to ensure that it was running more efficiently. All of these phases that we went through, all of these strategies and all of these measures that we put in place really helped to kind of increasingly build that story and build that momentum. So we always wanted to kind of build on that and move on to the next stage and challenge ourselves even more. So when I had the opportunity to move into the role, and I could see clearly through the responses we were sending through to clients and also the CSR assessments which were coming through. So EcoVadis, CDP, they're all brilliant. But they all, they put you through your paces. So, they really do push you to a point where, you can kind of go, yay, I've done this. But then the next question, you'll be like, oh, rubbish, should have done that or should be doing better. But that's not a bad thing because this is a continual journey. This is, there's no end point as far as I'm concerned. It is a journey you go on and you are continually improving. You're continually checking yourself. You're continually measuring. And measuring is really, really key to all of this. So I would say thank you to the clients, thank you to the CSR assessments, thank you to the enthusiasm that we've managed to get from people internally to help move this forward. Because putting the strategy in place by widening our net to not just look at our in-house, to properly look at how, as a business, how we do business, the work we're producing, the influence, the position of influence is just really, really important to leverage on those three areas for Engine.
Such a wonderful way to look at the long and arduous surveys that you've got to put through with CDP and EcoVadis, etc.
Yeah.
That's a lesson learned for all of us to put the positive slant to them.
Definitely.
Engine has committed to achieving net zero by 2050. Now, essentially, that means that all greenhouse gas emissions generated by Engine across its operations will need to be matched by the removal of the same number of emissions by 2050. What has Engine actually put in place to meet that commitment?
So, as part of our climate action plan, we have an important climate action item, which is aligning ourselves with the Science Based Target Initiative. And that again will mean we're in our stretch zone because we need to properly dive in further to our Scope 3 emissions, which are going to be really key in helping us to make those proper big leaps forward in this space. So again, that informs the measures we're putting in place. We have been running an assessment over the last few months on on trying to understand more what people need in terms of learning and skills internally to properly embed sustainability into their work. We have developed a supplier and ethical procurement policy, which we'll be rolling out hopefully in the coming months, and ensuring that all our suppliers, not just our big in-house suppliers, but all our suppliers right across the board, are aligning with our values, with what is ingrained in our code of conduct, in our supplier code of conduct, and in how we behave as a business. And that's all really important. And obviously the sustainable production work, which we have also been on a journey with for over a year now, is a big part of that. And really kind of helping to take clients on that journey. It's the influence piece comes into play so much because you need them to engage, you need them to be on board, you need them to see the value in not only creating great work and helping their business to grow, but it's for me, it's about positive outcomes. That's where we need to get to. It is about growth, but more importantly, it is about positive outcomes, and that needs to be the change in mindset over the coming years.
Yeah. But I think what's great is because you've embraced sustainability for such a long time and truly manage it well, that thinking is quite natural to you guys.
Yes.
And it's great that you're doing all these things, but it's important to tell everyone you are. Now, how are you communicating Engine's net zero commitment to your workforce, customers and clients, etc.?
Yeah. So we are continuing to do it through our RFIs, of which they're coming through in a much more granular way. It's not just, it is no longer a tick box exercise. They are looking for evidence. They are looking for a roadmap. They are looking for you to explain in detail what you are doing, the strategies in place, what lies ahead, and how you will add value to their sustainability strategy and ambitions as well. We've published in September our carbon reduction plan on the back of our relationship with the government. So that is significant. And within the carbon reduction plan, we have aligned ourselves with the Science Based Target Initiative, of which we look forward to going through the official verification process in the coming months. And also we communicate through the intermediaries. So we do a lot of presentation work. So we've had to present our credentials around what we're doing around sustainability. So whether that is directly with clients in a pitch process, or it's with consultants who are acting as intermediaries with clients, we need to show that we are engaged, not least with initiatives such as Add Net Zero, which you're all too familiar with, of course, and which has really inspired much of the work and the direction which we've taken over the last year, especially.
Something that businesses have to start addressing now is the carbon emissions being generated from staff working from home, especially during these COVID years.
Yeah.
Now, does Engine have plans to address this?
Yes, as part of our Scope 3 emission work, we will be diving deeper into our working from home emissions. And because of the change in how we work. So pre-COVID, we had a fluid working model policy in place, but obviously with COVID, that massively accelerated. We went to work from home, and then we have now retained the hybrid style of working, which obviously makes us very efficient as a business. So, we were working at 100% efficiency and achieving all of the results when we were purely working from home. But now in our hybrid style of working, we're working in still a far more efficient way and able to, take advantage and leverage all of the fantastic virtual collaboration tools which we have in place. It obviously minimizes the need to travel, to use paper, to use energy, all of the things, the knock-on effect with being more efficient with your day and your movements during the course of the week really feeds into that.
And Engine is also an official supporter of Ad Net Zero.
Yes.
The Advertising Association's initiative to encourage an industry-wide reduction of carbon emissions. And actually, Green Element helped the association to develop a climate strategy for this project. And they were keen to encourage the industry to go beyond just target setting. Could you run us through your experience of Ad Net Zero and how it helps Engine?
Definitely. Ad Net Zero is something I started to engage with towards the end of 2019. And after a deeper understanding of their plan and their action plan, their 5-point action plan, which is, as you know, incredibly comprehensive and so accessible. I mean, anyone in the industry, the way the report was put together, and, high five to Green Element in there as well, because I know you were key in bringing that information and sharing that information with the industry. It is just only inspirational and only makes you want to get on board, which was exactly what happened. So a significant part of the Engine business is focused around the advertising world. And as part of that, there was no question in my mind that we had to 100% lean in to Ad Net Zero. It is the industry-wide initiative. It made sense to be a part of it, to help with the collaboration, to support where we could, to add value where we could, whether that was through the networking collaboration or the data side of things, but also, to give our opinion, to support them in the steering group, which I sit on. Working Action Group 1 focused on reducing advertising emissions associated with the operational side of things. All of this has been really beneficial. And Ad Net Zero, as a collaborative initiative, is going to be key in helping the industry move to the next stage. You can have leaders, but you 100% need followers. And without the followers, you just don't have a movement, as far as I'm concerned. So it's got to be everyone working together in a collective mindset, sharing, learning, and humbling experience kind of way, because, we all need to stay. For me, we all need to bring each other on this journey at the same pace, at the same time, because if one of us fires ahead and then everyone else is left behind, then it's meaningless what we're trying to do. It will only work if there is everybody at the same level with the same momentum.
And I think that's what they've done really well, isn't it? Having those different working groups and having different people sit on working groups from different organisations. I myself sit on one of them. And I think, in hindsight, looking back at what they've done, it's genius. And actually, it should be replicated in other industries, because they've almost embraced everyone and brought them all in on that journey. I mean, it certainly helps. You've got people like Joe Coombs there that's so passionate about sustainability and has been for so many years,
Yes.
decades, and so bright and so articulate and so good at seeing where the future of it is. And then you've got people like Stephen Woodford that's really clear, sees that vision and totally gets it.
Yes.
As a senior leader, you can't get more on it than him. So I think, I don't know, I love it. I think so many industries can learn from it.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. And I think one of the loveliest things, I would consider myself still, in comparison to all those people you've mentioned and more, Will, relatively new in this space, in all earnest.
You do
There
yourself
are
an injustice.
experts. Well, you know what? What is so lovely about the Ad Net Zero initiative, and I do hope it is the same for other industry initiatives, is that it is so everybody feels like they're on the same level. There is no hierarchical feeling, and everyone's opinion counts. Everyone has a right to lean in and share and express how they feel and input. And I think it is a very lovely level playing field, very collective, very positive initiative, which I would 100% encourage everyone in the industry to engage with.
Yeah, it comes from the top, though. All that kind of stuff does come from the top, doesn't it? That culture.
It does. And, I think, I think if I knew then, and I kind of go back a few years in Engine, what I know now, I would have helped to accelerate this journey earlier. And I think if there's something, one of a few things I could say and share on this podcast is that start the journey as early as possible as you can. And absolutely, to your point, Will, engage the top, but engage the people. But engaging the top just helps to move it forward. I'd like to think that it's a no-brainer in this day and age. I don't think that's unfortunately probably the case in every business, but I think it has to be. We are going to wake up with a horribly rude awakening. I mean, there have already been so many. It's kind of extraordinary in light of that not everyone is kind of moving forward at the same pace. But I think we're moving forward. We're definitely pushing forward. There are lots of voices. There are lots of business leaders. There are lots of people across every industry really passionate about this. But we need more key influencers moving into place and leading the charge. And those key influencers they'll get the followers.
Absolutely, and that top down is imperative, as you said.
Yes.
Now, we've kind of touched upon this a bit, but do you get an opportunity to learn from others and share your own experiences?
Within the industry?
Yeah, and because you yourself have learned so much, and you've touched upon the fact that you're learning from others within Ad Net Zero kind of ecosystem, but maybe outside that in different, so talking to different industries, clients, or...
Yes, so I have spoken to other consultants who are focused in different areas. So there is Wonder Room, which is led by Mairead Cahill, and she is hugely focused on nature and biodiversity. That is she is a sustainability business leader through and through, but that is her specific area of passion and focus at the moment. So I am hoping to engage with her in the coming months, years, because the work that she's doing is fantastic, but also looking at our competitors and talking to our competitors and understanding the journey they've been on and, the barriers to kind of getting to the next stage. I think that's really important to understand and share them so you can kind of, work to kind of help move forward faster by kind of being able to anticipate better the barriers or the obstacles that might lie ahead. But also I'm very involved in the Cambridge Institute for Sustainability Leadership now, because I am doing further studies with them. And through that, I'm now communicating with people right across the world in such a number of industries who have incredible wealth of knowledge and different perspectives and different experiences and different thought processes. So all of that is going to massively help enrichen and deepen my understanding, and the work that I do will be even better informed from understanding it from a global context as well, which is really important in all of this.
That course is brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
I know a few people who lead on it, who teach on it, but actually Jem Forkas, who is the CEO of Firefish, another client of ours, he's on it at the moment. So you may come across
I'll look out for. There are a lot of us. They've. I mean, it's excellent. It's so well put together. I mean, I can't believe I attend virtual campus during the week, but it happens, and you've got your working groups and your sharing sessions and plenty of reading. So he may be in my working group or not. I'll look out for him. I could probably hunt around.
Brilliant guy.
I'll hunt around the campus.
Brilliant guy. Very good fun. Again, actually, funnily enough, one of our first ever customers, I started working for him actually just before Engine, 2006. But brilliant.
Brilliant.
So
Long
with everything you've learnt, they're the best, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because you look after each other in the long-term ones.
Definitely.
With everything you've learnt, what have been the biggest challenges in Engine's environmental journey?
Ooh. So I would say change in leadership has been a tricky one. And, that is why I think it is so important to embed it at an early stage so that it becomes what the business is about, rather than, oh, this is something else we do. So, look, every business goes through change. It goes through phases, and that happens, particularly the bigger businesses. But I would say that has probably been, a little bit of a challenge, if I can be honest, because you are obviously doing a lot of work with and collaborating with a leadership team. And then if there's a change, a significant change, that can affect the pace at which things are going, particularly if you're still relatively early on in the journey of trying to really build it into the business strategy, because that's what you need to do. It needs to be, like we've already said, and I know it is repeated, but it is so important that it is from the top down. It has to be part of the business strategy. And if it's not, then you're more vulnerable, because when there are those changes, things get thrown around a little. So I think for consistency, for continuity, and you also want to become a business that people recognize as being, they do this, but they're quite purpose-led. This is a business that clearly strives for positive outcomes. You want your business these days to be synonymous with a sustainable world, with a business that is properly leaning in. And that should stick. That should not change, irrespective of who is leading at the time or employees coming and going. I mean, of course, that is the other, when you have churn in a business, that's tricky, because I have a climate action group. And, by September, October, there were 20 of us. But because they lean into it from different parts of the business. And obviously when there's churn and if people leave, then that changes the flow of things within the group and how things are moving forward. Now, my presence doesn't change, so I can keep things moving forward, but it obviously makes a difference when some key influences within the business are no longer there. So I think just all the more reason to build it into your DNA. That's where it has to sit.
Absolutely. I actually blame myself a bit for the senior leadership not being involved from day one, because I was quite new and young and immature to what it was that I was doing. And I've spoken about this before, and because now I'm much more forceful because I know I trust what I'm talking about. And I think back then I was possibly led more by clients, and clients naturally don't bring leadership in. Whereas if you look at the 14,001 standard and you look at all the literature around it, even back then, it was always senior leadership need to be a part of the initial steps. And I think you're spot on with that being advice and learnings, because it doesn't have the longevity if you don't have senior leadership buy-in.
But I think you're being way too hard on yourself, by the way, Will. Just to say.
You've said that before, but I think you can always learn though. And that's how you get better, isn't it? Would you have any advice for businesses looking to do the same?
Start measuring. Start measuring. Start now. And
amazing advice.
Don't be afraid to push. Don't be afraid to be proactive. Don't be afraid to have uncomfortable conversations with people you perhaps think may not necessarily be completely in the space or want to totally hear everything you have to say. I think there's one thing about this journey. Once people start on it, it's incredibly difficult for them to say, actually, sorry, no, I'm not interested anymore. It's not one of those products which you go off or services which you go off. It is something that is going to determine whether or not our children or the next generations are going to have in any way a decent life in years to come, in any way. So there is a modicum of hope that we can, by pulling together, make this happen. So I would say be as bold as you like, start measuring, move it forward as fast as you can, and don't be afraid, because there are plenty of businesses that want to do this and that want to move forward. And the point is, if you do not future-proof your business with moving wholeheartedly and wholeheartedly embracing sustainability, then you are going to be on the back foot very, very soon.
Brilliant advice. Rachel,
Direct.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. You're welcome. And so lovely to be here. And thank you, Will.
This has been a special case study episode of the Sustainable Business Podcast from Green Element. If you'd like more details, there are links to our webpage in the show description. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And please don't forget to join our post-podcast discussion at sustainabilitysolved.org, a special online community where you can share ideas, views and comments. That's sustainabilitysolved.org. Now, thank you so much and see you again next time. So you really enjoy sustainability and want to be a part of the solution? Come and join our vibrant community now. Book a call and we can talk more.